The Golden Gate Bridge stands as a globally recognized icon. It is far more than just a bridge. It is a testament to human ingenuity and perseverance against formidable odds.
Its construction period, spanning from 1933 to 1937, unfolded during one of the most challenging economic times in history. This was a monumental undertaking, a project of unprecedented scale and complexity for its era. The completion of the bridge fundamentally transformed the San Francisco Bay Area. It connected communities, spurred growth, and reshaped the region's identity. Even today, decades after its completion, the Golden Gate Bridge continues to inspire awe. Its sheer scale and elegant design capture the imagination of millions around the world. It represents a triumph of engineering and human will. The story of its creation is one of vision, struggle, and ultimate success. This bridge is not merely a structure of steel and concrete. It is a symbol of what is possible when ambition meets determination. The ambitious project to bridge the Golden Gate was spearheaded by a tenacious engineer named Joseph Strauss. Strauss possessed a singular vision for connecting San Francisco to Marin County. Strauss faced significant initial skepticism from many quarters. Critics doubted the feasibility and necessity of such a massive structure across the treacherous strait. Numerous failed proposals for bridging the Golden Gate had existed previously. The challenges seemed insurmountable, leading many to believe it could never be done. Despite the doubts, Strauss championed his vision relentlessly. He dedicated years to promoting the idea and gathering support for the project. Strauss's chosen design for the crossing was a suspension bridge. He believed this type of structure was best suited for the unique conditions of the site. The suspension design was selected specifically for its ability to withstand the strong, relentless winds that sweep through the Golden Gate. Wind was a major environmental factor to consider. It was also chosen for its ability to navigate the treacherous currents of the strait. The powerful tides and deep water presented significant engineering challenges. Furthermore, the design was selected for its inherent ability to withstand seismic activity. San Francisco is located in an active earthquake zone, making structural resilience paramount. Strauss assembled a team of brilliant engineers and designers. Together, they refined the plans and prepared to tackle the immense task ahead. Their collective expertise was essential. They had to innovate and adapt existing engineering principles to meet the demands of this specific location. The vision extended beyond mere transportation. It was about connecting people, fostering economic growth, and creating a lasting landmark. Strauss's leadership was characterized by unwavering determination. He pushed forward despite political opposition, financial hurdles, and engineering unknowns. He understood the potential impact of the bridge. It would not only shorten travel times, but also unlock new opportunities for the entire region. The selection of the suspension design was a critical decision. It dictated the scale and complexity of the construction process that would follow. Securing the necessary funding during the height of the Great Depression was an enormous challenge. Economic hardship gripped the nation, making large-scale public works projects difficult to finance. Raising the required capital seemed almost impossible. Banks were hesitant and public funds were scarce. The project relied heavily on bonds purchased by local residents and businesses. This demonstrated a remarkable level of community support and belief in the vision. Navigating the complex political landscape also presented significant hurdles. The project required approval from numerous local, state, and federal agencies. There were legal battles, environmental concerns, and opposition from ferry companies. Each step forward required overcoming bureaucratic obstacles and vested interests. Strauss and his team had to lobby tirelessly. They presented their case, addressed concerns, and built consensus piece by piece. The political fight was as intense as the engineering challenge. Without political will and public backing, the project could not proceed. Overcoming these initial challenges was crucial. They laid the groundwork for the physical construction that would soon begin. The economic climate added immense pressure. The project was seen by many as a potential source of jobs and hope during a dark time. The political maneuvering required patience and persistence. Every approval was a hard-won victory. These early struggles highlighted the determination of everyone involved. They were committed to seeing the bridge become a reality despite the difficulties. The challenges were not just technical, they were societal and economic. Building the bridge required overcoming obstacles on multiple fronts simultaneously. It was a test of resilience for the project leaders and the community alike. Their ability to persevere set the stage for the construction phase. The initial phase was about making the impossible possible on paper and in the political arena. Only then could the physical work begin. Construction began with the preparation of the bridge foundations. This involved excavating bedrock and creating stable bases for the massive piers. The most critical and dangerous phase involved the construction of the massive concrete piers. These would support the entire structure. One pier, the San Francisco Pier, had to be anchored directly in the turbulent waters of the Golden Gate Strait. This was an unprecedented engineering feat. Building this pier involved innovative techniques for foundation work in deep, fast-moving water. Engineers had to devise new methods to work safely and effectively. A key innovation was the use of a fender system. This protective barrier shielded workers and the construction site from the powerful currents and potential ship collisions. The fender was a massive concrete structure itself. It acted as a buffer zone, creating a relatively calm area within the strait's chaos. Inside the fender, construction involved building a massive cofferdam. This watertight enclosure allowed for underwater excavation and concrete pouring in dry conditions. Workers descended into the cofferdam, often facing immense pressure and challenging conditions. It was a dangerous environment requiring specialized skills. Pouring the concrete for the piers was a continuous process. It required precise timing and coordination to ensure structural integrity. The scale of the concrete work was immense. These piers had to be strong enough to support the weight of the towers and the entire bridge deck. Building the foundations was a race against the tides and the weather. Every day presented new challenges in the unforgiving environment of the strait. The techniques developed for the Golden Gate Bridge foundation work were groundbreaking. They advanced the field of civil engineering significantly. This initial stage was critical and highly dangerous. Success here was essential for the entire project to proceed safely and effectively. The innovation demonstrated in building the piers set the tone for the rest of the construction. It showed the team's willingness to push boundaries. Following the completion of the piers, construction began on the two iconic towers. These structures would define the bridge's silhouette. The towers rise majestically over 746 feet above the water. They are among the tallest bridge towers ever built at the time. The towers were constructed using a combination of steel and concrete. Prefabricated steel sections were hoisted into place and riveted together. The steelwork was a complex and dangerous process. It required skilled iron workers, operating at dizzying heights. Workers, many of whom were experienced iron workers, faced incredibly dangerous conditions daily. They battled the elements high above the water. Conditions included working at dizzying heights with minimal protection. The constant threat of falling was ever present. They also had to contend with battling the relentless wind and thick fog that frequently enveloped the strait. Visibility was often poor, adding another layer of risk. Safety was a major concern throughout the tower construction. The project leadership implemented measures to protect the workforce. The steel sections were lifted by cranes mounted on the towers themselves. As the towers grew, the cranes were raised higher. Riveting the steel plates together was a noisy and hazardous job. Teams of riveters worked in tandem, heating and hammering rivets into place. The sheer scale of the towers was breathtaking. Building them required incredible precision and coordination among the work crews. Each section had to be perfectly aligned. The structural integrity of the entire bridge depended on the strength and accuracy of the tower construction. The work was physically demanding and mentally taxing. Workers spent long hours high above the water, exposed to the elements. The completion of the towers marked a significant milestone. They stood as visible proof that the bridge was taking shape. Recognizing the inherent dangers of working at height, project leaders implemented unprecedented safety measures. The most famous was the installation of a safety net. This net was nicknamed the Cradle of Life by the workers. It stretched beneath the deck construction area. The net was installed specifically to catch falling workers. Before its installation, falls were often fatal. The safety net proved incredibly effective, saving the lives of 19 men who fell during construction. These men became known as the Halfway to Hell Club. While the net saved many, tragically, 11 men still lost their lives during the project. Despite the measures, the work remained incredibly dangerous. With the towers complete, the focus shifted to the main cables. These cables are the heart of the suspension system, supporting the entire bridge deck. The main cables were constructed by spinning thousands of individual wires together in place. This process required specialized machinery and a dedicated team of workers. A temporary catwalk was built between the towers to facilitate the cable spinning. Workers walked this narrow path high above the water. The spinning process involved pulling thin steel wires back and forth across the strait. These wires were then bundled together to form the massive cables. Each of the two main cables contains over 27,000 individual wires. Laid end to end, these wires could circle the Earth multiple times. The cables were compacted and wrapped to protect them from the elements. This created the smooth, cylindrical appearance seen today. These massive cables support the immense weight of the bridge deck itself. They also carry the weight of the constant flow of traffic. The cable spinning was a marvel of engineering and coordination. It was a painstaking process that took many months to complete. The strength of these cables is phenomenal. They are designed to withstand the enormous tension required to hold the bridge aloft. The Golden Gate Bridge was officially completed on May 27, 1937. This marked the culmination of over 4 years of intense work. The bridge was opened to the public the following day, May 28, 1937. The opening was celebrated with a pedestrian day, allowing people to walk across before vehicles were permitted. The bridge was an immediate and resounding success. It instantly became a vital transportation link between San Francisco and Marin County. It drastically reduced travel times and eliminated the need for ferry crossings. This facilitated commerce and made commuting much easier. The bridge provided a significant boost to the local economy. It stimulated development on both sides of the strait. Crucially, the project provided thousands of jobs during the Great Depression. It offered employment and hope to many families during a time of widespread unemployment. The building of the Golden Gate Bridge showcased the power of human collaboration. Engineers, workers, politicians, and citizens all played a part. It demonstrated the ability to overcome seemingly insurmountable obstacles. The challenges of finance, politics, and engineering were all successfully addressed. Today, the Golden Gate Bridge remains the most iconic symbol of San Francisco. Its image is recognized instantly around the world. It stands as a marvel of modern engineering. Its design and construction techniques continue to be studied and admired. The bridge is a lasting legacy of the men and women who built it. Their courage, skill, and dedication made this dream a reality. Their story is etched into the steel and concrete of the bridge itself. It is a monument to human achievement and perseverance. The Golden Gate Bridge continues to serve millions of travelers every year. It is a vital piece of infrastructure and a beloved landmark. Its legacy is not just in its physical form, but in the inspiration it provides. It reminds us that with vision and determination, even the most ambitious goals can be achieved.